Good evening and welcome to the May 20th, 2015 Town Board meeting, and I'll officially call the meeting to order. This evening we have Sam Murray from Troop 9 here with us this evening. He is going to be working on his citizenship in the community and communications badge, and we always like to ask our scouts to lead us in the pledge. And Sam, if you would, everyone please rise.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, I'll ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Cole.
Here.
LaFountain.
Here.
Metzler.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Quinn is absent.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll start off with our communications and announcements this evening, and the first person that I would like to recognize is our teacher of the Dayton's Corner School. She is actually our coordinator and one of the many teachers, one of the many great teachers at Dayton's Corner School, and she's going to address this board and update us on a couple of exciting things that are going on, and I see some goodies on that back table as well, as only she can do. Ms. Barbara, I think is what she's known at the school.
Yes, actually go by Miss Brooks.
Miss Brooks?
Yes, we didn't know if the first name was really allowed in 1857, but some people still go by, Miss Nancy or Miss Karen or whatever it was. And I'm Barbara Quinn, and I live here in town at 68 Harwood Circle, and I am the coordinator for the Dayton's Corner Schoolhouse Museum. And good evening, Supervisor LaFountain, board members. Now, Tony, you must sit up straight.
I knew it was going to be a tough night
Feet
tonight.
flat on the floor. Thank you. Now, Linda always behaves, and so does Paula. I'm after Amy sometimes, but put on your listening ears, and your hands are clasped, just like Mr. LaFountain has, on top of your desk. Thank you. And I'm pleased to come before you again this year to invite everyone to our annual Dayton's Corners School Pie Social with free pony rides for the kids. And it's going to be held on Sunday, June 7th from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. Last year's Pie Social was extremely successful and well attended. We will be sure to order more pies this year from Baker Street Bakery. And thanks to Bill and Mary Ellen for their generosity. I was so happy that people from the community came in droves for the pies, cookies, lemonade, pony rides, playground equipment, and we have a new slide, tours of the school, and informative conversations with the teachers. This year, we had almost 50 classes of fourth grade students attend Dayton's Corners, and our beautiful 1857 school was well used. We did hold an open house for special visitations for various groups. People who visit there are always appreciative of what we do and can offer them, and so attentive to the history presented at the gatherings. I'm proud of our many teachers who tirelessly volunteer their time, talent, and expertise to teach the fourth grade students who come to Dayton's Corners School. I'd also like to thank Supervisor LaFountain, who supports this historic Penfield landmark through his many efforts, and the cutting of pieces of pie at the Pie Social. Town historian Kathy Knauer for her constant contact with me and help with the Pie Social. Pie cutter Councilman Rob Quinn, we trained him last year. I hope he remembers. Board Liaison Councilwoman Linda Cole. Thank you, friends, so very much. So don't forget, Sunday, June 7th from 2 to 4 for the Pie Social and free pony rides.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and thank you for the
It is a
time.
wonderful event. I've had the honor of being there for several years. I am one of the pie cutters. My father taught me that if you're going to do a job that you enjoy, and I really enjoy cutting pies. There are some side benefits to being a pie cutter as well.
We'll have the correct utensils again this year for you. They worked out well, I believe, for you.
It worked out well, and it was a great event. A lot of people, the pony rides were a hit, and everyone seems to have a great time. And I think it's safe to say as young as 8 months to 80 plus, and everything in
Absolutely.
between, I think, that I saw last year. So, and I think everyone walked away learning something new and different about
Yes.
our school and the museum. So
Yes.
thank you for
And
your
we have
efforts.
also coloring books available if people want to purchase them, and the slates with the bags and the soapstone that they can write on slates with. So there's certain articles, believe we even have some buttons this year that have the logo on it. And so we have teachers there that obviously know quite a bit about the school because they've been working with the school for 20 years, if not longer. So it's wonderful to be there and to have this gem of a place right here in Penfield.
Thank you for all of
Absolutely.
your efforts as our coordinator and pulling everything together to serve all of the fourth grade classes around not only Penfield but adjacent areas. And keeping such a large group of volunteers actively involved, it's not an easy task. So thank you for your service as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we look forward to it. And again, what's that reminder? Sunday,
June 7th,
Sunday,
from
June
2 to
7th.
4 in the afternoon, and we hope for wonderful weather like last year.
We will,
Oh, my
we'll
goodness.
put that order in right now.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Be well. Great to see you. Okay. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter? Oh, excuse me. We're still in communications and announcements, so I apologize for that. We will move on to public participation, and I'll ask our clerk, has anyone signed up to speak before the board?
Mr. Supervisor, we would go over our communications first?
Communications and announcements, yes.
Okay.
So I've got, I was reprimanded at the beginning because I was, yeah, I know, she's got me, Ms. Brooks has got me
Rattled.
nervous and rattled, and because she had her stick, and I wasn't sitting up straight, so we'll start again, and we will start with communications and announcements, and I'll start with our town clerk, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is a save the date. Please join us for the 5th Annual Penfield Business Association Golf Tournament that benefits the Shepherd Home. It will be held on Monday, July 27th at the Penfield Country Club. Sponsorship opportunities are still available for both tees and flags. To register for the golf tournament as a sponsor, for yourself or as a foursome, please go to www.penfieldbusiness.org or call Tracy Dovey at 585-381-0890. Also, just a reminder that the town of Penfield will be hosting its annual free rabies vaccination clinic on Saturday, June 27th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Public Works Complex, 1607 Jackson Road. The clinic is a service for dogs and cats of Penfield residents. Dogs must be leashed and cats must be in their carriers. All pets must be at least 3 months old to receive the vaccination. For more information, please call 340-8616. And that's all I have today.
Thank you. Mrs. Metzler.
I have 2 announcements regarding 2 events in the town. First, mark your calendars for a tour of Oakwood Cemetery with our town historian, Kathy Knauer, on Friday, June 5th at 7 p.m. Kathy will share interesting facts and stories about Penfield residents who are interred at Oakwood, located at the corner of Baird and Whalen Roads. This program is sponsored by the Penfield Heritage Association. You meet at the flagpole in the cemetery at 7 o'clock on June 5th. If you want additional details, go to www.penfieldrec.org. Also, Penfield's annual Memorial Day Ceremony of Remembrance will be held Monday, May 25th at 10:30 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park. This year's guest speaker will be Penfield resident Laura Stradley, director of the Monroe County Veterans Service Agency. Music will be performed by the Penfield Pops Band. Reserve a rose in honor or memory of a friend or loved one who has served or is serving in our nation's armed forces. This presentation of roses takes place during the ceremony. If interested, please call Sabrina Renner at the Rec Department at 340-8651 to participate, or visit penfieldrec.org for more information on reserving a rose in someone's honor. That's all I have today.
Great. A couple of items for Mr. Quinn. Would like to just announce the fact that on the 29th of this month, we will kick off our amphitheater series. It'll be music and food truck rodeo from 4:30 to 8 p.m. Always a great time. We've got 8 local food trucks that will be participating. Tony Tomato's Wood-Fired Pizza, Abbott's Frozen Custard, Cheesed and Confused, the Meatball Truck Company, Stingray Fusion, the Doughboys Fried Dough, Smoothie Horizontal, and Macarollin. The windows for the trucks will open at 4:30, and there's going to be a lot of great music. It's actually going to be kicked off at 5 p.m. With the Penfield School District music groups. And I'd like to just recognize Jim Dozer, who will be retiring this year from the Penfield High School music program. This will be his last concert in our amphitheater that he has brought his groups to. And so we look forward to that very special event and to wish him well as he goes on to the next chapter of his life. The next item is that the town hall offices will be closed Monday, the 25th, in observance of Memorial Day. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The Penfield Trails Committee will sponsor a free public hike at Wild Iris Trail in Veterans Memorial Park on Saturday, June 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Please join community naturalists in exploring pathways along preserved flora habitats unique to Penfield. The hike will start at the west end of Brougham Drive. Brougham is off Jackson Road, south of Atlantic Avenue. Look for the hike signs. While the hike is free, participants are encouraged to pre-register by contacting the Penfield Rec Department at 340-8655. Also, the Penfield Little League Challenger Opening Day ceremonies, its baseball opening day ceremonies, will take place on Saturday, June 6th. The ceremony will be held at 9 a.m. and will take place at Baxter Field at Veterans Memorial Park, right here at the Town Hall facilities. For more information and details, please call Steve Pello at 749-7515, or you can visit PenfieldBaseball.com. Thank you.
Mrs. Cole.
The Penfield Pops Band will perform at the Penfield Amphitheater at the Kiwanis Stage in Veterans Memorial Park on Monday, June 8th, 7 p.m. Bring your family and some lawn chairs to one of the fabulous free concerts at the Penfield Amphitheater in Kiwanis Stage this summer. For more upcoming events at the Penfield Amphitheater, please visit penfieldrec.org. And the Penfield Rotary Club's 18th annual golf tournament will take place on Monday, June 1st at Shadow Lake Golf Club. This event is co-sponsored by Warrior Salute, a service of CDS Monarch, and proceeds will support Warrior Salute programs, plus local and international Rotary service projects. They include Camp Yakimo, college scholarships for high school students, International Youth Exchange, and Water for South Sudan. This year, the tournament will be adding more events such as Ball in the Boat, Double Your Money, and Putting Contest, Hole-in-One, and more. Registration table opens at 11 o'clock, followed by lunch and a shotgun start at 12:30. Registration is $125 per golfer and includes lunch, cocktail hour, and Shadow Lake's classic barbecue dinner. Dinner only available for $40 at 6 p.m. To register online or get more information, please go to www.penfieldrotary.org. And also, my next community chat will be in June 16th, Tuesday, 5:30 to 7 in the New Book area at the library if you'd like to come over and talk about anything. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Mr. Horowitz?
No announcements tonight, Mr.
Okay,
Supervisor.
very good. Now that we're back on track and following the agenda, next is public participation. There are 2 opportunities to do that here at the beginning of the meeting and again at the end of the meeting to address the board on any matter. You can do that if you're here in the auditorium. You can log on at penfield.org, or you can call in at 340-8771. And I'll ask our clerk, has anyone signed up to address the board?
Joe Gusmeyer.
Joe Grusemeyer. Welcome, Mr. Grusemeyer.
Good evening, Tony. Good evening, board members, and thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to you and make some comments and also to have some questions.
Okay.
I didn't know Miss Brooks was going to be here tonight, but I do live on Creek Street, and I got to tell you, it's a fantastic event they put on there. Not only is the food great and the school is so interesting, but the music, I'm not sure you commented about that, but they have old-time music there, And it's just, I sat there for an hour and just listened to it. So I just want to comment on how wonderful Dayton Road School is and what they put on there.
Did you have a
My
piece-
first one,
Did you have a piece of pie?
one? No, a couple. And I'd like you to cut them just a smidge bigger, Tony.
Okay.
I'm here because a couple of my neighbors came over and comment about the spring pickup, or the spring drop-off, I'm sorry. One of them had a stove and others had tires, and they didn't know what to do with them. So it was a great event for them, and I don't know how much for other people, but maybe you can comment on that. And my question would be, are you going to hold that again next year, Tony?
We have, over the years, we certainly have whittled that down a little bit. It used to be at one point, I think, a 9-day event, a week and 2 weekends. And one of the things that we were looking at were to encourage more recycling, and we have done that. And we've encouraged residents to look for other alternatives. So if they buy a new refrigerator or stove, that whoever sells that to them, in many cases, will take it away at no cost. I think all of us that have had tires changed, that's always a difficult one, because I think they charge you $2 a tire, if I'm not mistaken. Whether they take the tires or not, you still get charged for those tires to be taken. I think there is something in the law for that. So I would encourage residents, if you do have tires, you're changing tires, to take that. But it is our intent, at least for the foreseeable future, to continue to hold at least a 2-day event in the spring, and then to hold a full recycling event in the fall.
Great. Well, thank you for that. I know they
Absolutely.
appreciated it. And I also heard something about a pharmaceutical collection. I mean, that for me personally would be great if it was. So go ahead and explain, and then I'll tell you why.
Okay. Yes, we've been notified by the County of Monroe Department of Environmental Services, who we work very closely with for household hazardous waste. They've asked to hold a pharmaceutical day or event at Wegmans on 441, and that's on Saturday, I think it's June 27th, if I'm not mistaken. And that'll be from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can bring in old prescriptions, outdated, over-the-counter, anything that you have that you want to get rid of, legal or illegal. And, they follow the chain of command. It goes from your hand to a bin, which then gets supervised by a deputy sheriff that then is taken and incinerated as well. And the only thing that they caution us is that doctors' offices and veterinarian offices cannot participate. But if you've got anything, regardless of what it is, bring it over that day, and it's a good way. Because one of the things they're trying to encourage is don't dump those meds down the drain or down the toilet, because it does have an impact on the water supply. Even though the Monroe County Water Authority and Monroe County Pure Waters does a good job of cleansing our water, there are some things that still get into that supply, and we want to keep it out and then have it properly incinerated. So,
Yeah, well, thank you. And I personally will use that. As you know, last year I had a bad car accident, and I was given a lot of prescriptions, and quite heavy prescriptions. And I used a few, but I stopped them, and I don't know how to get rid of them. I mean, the doctor won't take them back. The pharmacy won't take them back. I'm glad you said something about dumping them, down the drain, because that seemed like about the only possibility I had to get rid of them. So thank you for that.
yep, absolutely.
Pharmaceutical
Yeah, thank you
thing
for not
is-
dumping them down the drain.
Yeah, you're right.
Joe, I would encourage folks, anyone can always go online to monroecounty.gov.
Okay.
We do work very closely with the county, but the county also rotates these events around the county, such as the pharmaceutical drop-off. Sometimes they're at the sheriff's zone stations, Wegmans, and any Monroe County resident can go to any of those. So you can go right on monroecounty.gov. There's usually some prominent link to household hazardous waste, pharmaceutical drop-offs, and also Echo Park, which is a collaboration between the county and Waste Management out near the airport. you can click on Echo Park on monroecounty.gov, and they basically have a recycle finder for you. You put in what you want to recycle, and it will tell you whether they would take it at Echo Park, and if not, where you can take it in the area. So it's a really neat tool to go in there. If you've got something unusual and you don't know how to dispose of it, I encourage people to go and use Echo Park or the alternatives that they offer.
Well, thank you for that information, Paula. And, I was looking forward to the spring and summer concert series. We've gone to a few of them, and they're really great. Like you said, Tony, great music, great food. And my question was going to be, where could we go to get the lineup? But I believe, Linda, you just answered that.
PenfieldRec.org.
Penfield, okay. And because we happened to drive past a few times, and it was going on, and we stopped. But I would like to plan it in advance, because it really is a good time to go and enjoy. So thank you for that, running that. And last but not least is that Memorial Day ceremony. And I think you answered my question there, Paula. My father was in World War II, but he did not die in the service. Luckily for me, since I was born, he came home. And, I was wondering if we could honor him in some way. So it's not just for the deceased that happened in the
Absolutely.
war, it's for all veterans.
We honor my father, a Korean War vet who passed away but did
Great.
come home every year. My mom and the grandchildren do that. So
Well,
we have lots of
that's-
people who, even people are currently serving, active, inactive.
Yeah, well, I watch it on TV every year, and it certainly is a moving ceremony. And again, thank you for that. And that's all the questions I have, but thank you, Board, and continue to do the great work that you do in Penfield.
Thank you.
This person really, really appreciates it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. I'm also reminded by staff that on the pharmaceutical component, that the Monroe County Sheriff's Department Zone A substation on the second Tuesday of every month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Will accept any pharmaceuticals. So they're located right on Linden Avenue, 789 Linden Ave, and there's a deputy on staff. They'll take it, they'll properly dispose of it, and that's the second Tuesday of each month from 10 to 1 p.m. All right, is there anyone else that had signed up?
No.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter? Okay, we'll move on. There will be another opportunity at the end of the meeting. The next item is additions and deletions to the agenda. Does the board, town clerk or town attorney, have any additions or deletions? Seeing none, we have the minutes of April 15th, 2015 before us, and would entertain a motion of approval of those minutes.
I move that the minutes of April 15th be approved.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion, questions, changes, or otherwise? Okay, seeing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Thank you. Has the board, town clerk, or town attorney received any petitions since the last time that we came together? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to resolution by function, starting with law and finance.
Authorization to maintain properties and assess the charges to the 2016 property tax bills.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas on October 2nd, 1996, the Town Board of the Town of Penfield adopted Article 4-4-28 of the Penfield zoning ordinance entitled Property Maintenance. Whereas the purpose of Article 4-4-28 of the Penfield ordinance is to prevent the gradual encroachment of blight, deterioration, unsightliness, and property devaluation, and to assure that all premises within the Town of Penfield are maintained in a manner that will assure health, safety, and welfare of the general public. Whereas the property owners of 6 Bethnal Green and 59 Random Knolls Drive have failed to maintain the exterior areas of subject properties. Whereas the town staff has continually requested the property owners to maintain these locations with no results. Be it further resolved that the town board further authorizes that said cost of any maintenance and any necessary subsequent maintenance during the 2015 season be charged to the 2016 property tax bill for subject properties. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
4 ayes. Approval of issuance of a conditional use permit to allow an outdoor dining area at 2124 and 2126 5 Mile Line Road, known as Cha-Cha's Wood-Fired Bar and Grill.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to Article 3-3-97 of the code to allow the construction of an 864 plus or minus square foot outdoor dining area at 2124-26 5 Mile Line Road, located in the Four Corners zoning district. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Penfield has held a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on May 6, 2015, to consider the application to hear all persons interested on the issuance of this conditional use permit to allow a 672 plus or minus square foot outdoor dining area at the location addressed in this resolution in the Four Corners zoning district. Now therefore be it resolved that the applicant requests for a conditional use permit to allow the outdoor dining area at 2124-26 5 Mile Line Road is hereby granted, subject to the following conditions. For the record, Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to note that there are roughly 10 conditions. All 10 conditions are consistent with previous resolutions for this type of use in the Four Corners zoning district. I also would just like to point out condition 3 on the second line. It talks about hours of outdoor dining, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on a daily basis. The word basis just needs to be added there. And then in number 4, the word on the first sentence to have 8 tables, we just need to make that plural tables. They're just clerical errors, nothing of material substance in the resolution.
Okay.
So.
They will be amended accordingly on the final resolution. Any discussion, further discussion on this particular item?
The only thing I would like to add is that we did have the public hearing, and I thought that the applicant came forward and really justified and talked about what their vision was for this type of use, and I think it really enhances what we'd like to see at the Four Corners, and I would just like to commend the applicant and their tenant for bringing this forward and trying to do something different with the dining options at the Four Corners, and we hope it's successful. At least I hope it's successful.
Yeah, I'd also like to add and thank Sam DePrima. He's here and has been at our other discussions on this and very attentive to our concerns. And also would like to thank the DePrima family for continuing to be committed to the town of Penfield. You've got a little bit of history with the town of Penfield here, growing up. And for people who aren't aware of Cha-Cha's Wood-Fired Bar and Grill, this is the former Angus house, and it's going to be made even more attractive, I think, by the addition of this outdoor dining area. So congratulations.
Great, thank you. Seeing no further discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for Town Supervisor to sign a professional service contract with Mark DeFrancisco for construction inspection services in connection with the Parkview Drive, White Village Drive Sewer Project Area Extension 56.
Moved.
Second.
Be resolved that Mark DeFrancisco be named an engineering consultant for the town of Penfield. Be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign a contract with Mr. DeFrancisco for a professional service contract for construction inspection and observation as outlined in a letter on file with the town clerk, which includes a schedule of fees for various services provided by Mr. DeFrancisco to the town of Penfield for the year 2015. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. Just a comment about this resolution. We're in the process in another month to start the Parkview White Village Sewer Project. This is one of the last major subdivisions within the town that does not have sewers. It's a $2.4 million project. Mark has been involved since the beginning of this, which dates back to the late 2008, 2009, when we first started having some conversations about this. Mark is retiring from the town, and we're looking for some continuity on the start of this project to make sure that this project goes as smooth as possible, and hence the contract with Mr. DeFrancisco to provide those construction services. Seeing no other comments, I would ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for the release of a portion of the drainage easement at 36 Meadows End.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the owner of the property at 36 Meadows End has requested the town of Penfield release a portion of a 20-foot wide drainage easement on their property that encompasses the house. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a release of easement with the owner of the property located at 36 Meadows End. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the town supervisor to sign 13 recreation contracts, and they're dealing with the different programs this summer, and a sizable amount of these are dealing with designating officials for soccer games and volleyball and so on, all those exciting summer activities.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, a roll call vote.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes.
This takes us to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, is there any new business to come before the board this evening? Again, seeing none, this is our second opportunity for public participation. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the board on any matter? Yes, sir, please come forward. You would just give us your name and address for the record?
My name is Michael Foster. I live at 116 London Road in the village of Webster. And I was here for the authorization for the release of the portion of the drain easement at 36 Meadows End. My wife and I purchased that house.
Yes.
I just have a quick question because I can't sleep at night. Why? Why would they build a house with 2 foot of easement inside the house 11 years ago? Why?
The only thing that I could assume is that when the house was laid out, someone missed that 11 years ago when they were staking that out. Is the only thing that I can think of.
So it was a mistake?
I believe it was a mistake. I mean, there was sufficient room on the other side. If the whole house were moved 2 feet, it wouldn't be in the easement, and you still would meet the setbacks on that other side side lot
On
line.
the north side where the
Right.
woods are, because
It-
that's where supposedly where the drain pipe is.
Yes. So the only thing I can think of is that they made a mistake when they laid it out. And so they closed on the house, and now they're getting ready to sell the house 11 years later. And your attorney, doing their due diligence, identified it and, wanted to make sure that, that was properly cleared up. But that's the only thing that I can think of is that an error was made in the field when they were laying it out.
Mr. Supervisor, did anybody know about this at closing, when Mrs. Dietz closed that? Was she ever notified that this was there, or was this just a complete slip for 11 years?
I would say that if it were identified 11 years ago at the closing, typically what happens, and every once in a while that'll come up, one of the last times I saw it, it was just for a couple of inches, where as they built, they laid it out, they laid it out in what I'll call a general rough fashion, and they missed in the final survey of it, they missed by a couple of inches. And then what happens at that time, before they closed the house, it was a brand-new house, before they closed the house, they came to the Zoning Board of Appeals and asked for relief of that. And the Zoning Board of Appeals has one of 2 options. They can grant a relief, or they can ask for that piece to be modified or adjusted, torn down, whatever the case is. And at the time, they granted that, and that was a recent one within the last couple of years that I can recall. We had one of those, and that happened, new house, right at closing.
Right, well,
And certainly a buyer at closing, when they can assume that risk, if they want to go proceed, it's like having a deck or a pool without the permit. being there. They can, if they really want that house and they can assume that risk, they can take additional insurance, title insurance and the like, and different provisions within their insurance to be able to cover a possible issue should that come up.
Yeah, I bought this for my wife, and we haven't slept too well. We were supposed to close May 3rd. Thank God for Dave, he saw it. I never had a doubt that the town of Penfield was ever gonna come in there with a shovel and take 2 feet off my basement. I didn't think that would ever happen in a million years, but I didn't like it on the title.
We won't make you move your bed either.
No, I'm sleeping on the first floor, that's why I did it. How far back did they move it? I mean, it's just a matter of they're not in my basement anymore?
That is correct.
That is correct?
That is correct. The attorney and the engineer actually redrew that, submitted that to Mr. Valentine, our town engineer, who verified it. And so essentially, that small portion, which if I'm not mistaken, was actually the chimney of the house, was a piece of that. They actually carved that out, so the easement has been modified in that area by the width of the portion of building or chimney that was in the easement.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
We can close the house
All
now.
right. You can sleep well tonight.
I can sleep.
And
My
welcome to
wife can
Penfield. You're coming from Webster?
From
You made the right
Webster.
decision. Welcome to Penfield.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Mr. Gallagher?
My name is, let's do this. My name is Kevin Gallagher, 1973 Dublin Road. There are several topics that I brought up in the past, and I'm readdressing some of them right now. First one is sidewalks. I suggested that there should be a proactive policy to ensure sidewalks that are damaged by utility work are properly repaired. This policy could be simply contacting the finite number of utilities, I believe it's 4, electric and gas, water, telephone, and cable, and asking them to notify the town with locations and dates of sidewalk removal and replacement. Then the town can follow up and check on those sidewalks. The sidewalks at the Enchanted Rose Garden and 1886 near Peachtree Lane on Penfield Road were removed and replaced last season. While the sidewalks at the Enchanted Rose Garden look great, the sidewalks at 1886 look terrible. It is poorly finished, and there is slag remains next to the sidewalk and the road. I think this should be a test case, whether you can follow up with the process to make sure the sidewalks are properly maintained, and I'm hoping that no public funds would be used to replace it.
So when you say bad condition?
It was poorly made, swept out, doesn't conform with the current sidewalk line. On the roadside, there's another 4 inches that sweep up, and then there's loose concrete that was probably left over, and it's still there on the grass area. So
And
it's
that's 1886.
which is right near Peachtree. And I'm not sure that anyone else in the town is reporting damaged sidewalks like this.
Actually, to the best of my knowledge, you're the only person.
And it's almost 3 miles away from my house, and the only reason I would see it is I bicycle over it and I run over it. So it's not in front of my house.
Got it.
So, also, relating to utility work, several of the houses across the street, I don't know the numbers, instead of taking out sidewalk pieces, they went under the sidewalks.
And this is on which road? I'm sorry.
Penfield Road.
On Penfield Road?
And I want to say across from the intersection of Peachtree, but the sidewalks were not damaged, but then they went in and refilled. And if they didn't do that properly, there's a chance that there would be subsidence, and somewhere down the line, maybe a year, 3 years, that they could break the concrete and lower 3 or 4 inches. So I'm concerned that this might be a way of them kind of getting under the radar as far as damaging the sidewalks and being responsible for them.
Actually, it's pretty routine to do boring for utilities, both sidewalks, roadways, and other utilities. And So our engineering department, we certainly, as we're aware of those, and we are aware of most of them. I won't say all of them, because I'm guessing that every once in a while you have someone that might be in trying to do something quick. But we work very closely with the utilities to make sure that if there is any problems, and then typically what happens is that on Penfield Road, for instance, requires a permit from New York State Department of Transportation as well.
Right. So my hope is, because the policy that I thought was in place, where if there was a problem with the replacement, such as, would you call it peeling or splitting after a single winter season, that you would be able to go back and find out. You would know who these people were. So you could say, you need to replace this section again.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. We talked about fire hydrants in the past, and there were many that were blocked this winter, and I'm hoping that some sort of policy that's relying less on hope and luck be presented, talked about. That I understand that you try to communicate with the community about the issue, but it's hard to tell how many people are actually listening, and it may not be enough.
So what would you suggest?
Well, one of my closing remarks is, I believe that having engaged members of the community, such as neighborhood organizations, neighborhood groups, that might be the solution to many of these situations. That if you're able to engage residents, then maybe they will take a look at their community, their fire hydrants, and take care of them. That might be a solution. And then I know you're probably resistant to it, but some sort of ordinance that property owners be responsible for the fire hydrant which is closest to their residence.
Which is typically in the right-of-way.
Yes. But not only the individual with the fire hydrant on their property, but everyone that shares that particular fire hydrant.
Okay.
Okay. I believe it's been at least 2 years, maybe 3 years, that I notified the town board about the Wayland Meadows wetland outlet that needed repair. And I haven't received any updates. As of today, I did an inspection, it has not been fixed. This past fall, I checked in with, I don't know what department it would be.
Engineering?
Probably, that they had it scheduled, but they weren't sure it was going to be done. So last fall, it didn't get done.
Did you speak with Jeff Benway?
Unfortunately, I don't remember names very well, and I didn't take notes on that particular call. But I'm hoping that it will be addressed in this construction season, and I believe it speaks to the necessity for some sort of communication, that I've provided the information, and I didn't hear anything back. And if I had known it was going to take so long, I might have pushed for some sort of temporary solution, like just some concrete blocks to set in to maintain the minimum level. So I'm hoping going forward that there'll be communication and a follow-up on issues like this.
Okay.
Coming up this year, I believe there are some resurfacing projects on 441 and 250. There are some issues that probably should be addressed during the project. I'm just going to mention a couple quickly. The stop lines, best example is the four corners. The lines need to be set back so that large vehicles can make the turn, specifically school buses. Now, when the town, or when the state painted those lines, the stop lines, they did it correctly on the west side of 5 Mile Line, but not on the east side. So when they do the resurface and repainting, they need to put the line in the right position. Two other issues. It would be helpful for bicyclists for the induction loops that are at the intersections, which will trigger the lights, to be marked. Because as a bicyclist, your profile on that line is minimal. If you don't activate that light, the car behind you might not be in position, and you might be obstructing left turns specifically. So in other bike-friendly communities, they have boxes where bicyclists can park, waiting to trigger the light, and it may not have to be that much detail. It could be when they notch them and they refill them, they use the filler, and sometimes that's enough to identify the line. Other times, they'll use like a light blue, which will indicate that there's an induction loop there. And then one other thing is, if you check the storm grates on 250 just north of 441, because repaving is, they've put another 2.5 inches in, most of those storm grates are recessed, and they pose a threat to anyone on a bicycle. So I'm hoping that when they redo these roads, that the storm grates will be at grade with the road and not pose a threat.
I think what the intent by the state is, and have you forwarded any of these comments to them?
The state and I have a bad relationship. I have contacted them on many issues, and they have, I believe, a policy to deny that my position is correct, even though they may agree with me behind closed doors. So I don't believe any of my actions requesting appropriate safety concerns will be addressed by the state by using my name. I have to go through secondary sources.
Got it.
Okay.
And the intent on this project is to mill the road and then to repave. And the input that we have had is that any storm drains, once the paving is done, they'll be flush, and if any of them need to be modified, raised, or lowered, depending upon what the case is, that they'll do that as part of that. So we'll watch and learn together.
Okay, that's good to hear.
And so, as I report anything out that I heard tonight, I shouldn't use your name, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They know my name.
Got it.
And the other thing is, I passed along a data disk to Rob last week about the traffic calming plan that I put together.
Okay.
And I don't know what his timetable is, but I'd like to have a conversation with him probably within the next 2 weeks. And there are aspects of that that hopefully he'll be sharing with the rest of the board and maybe town engineer, et cetera.
Okay.
I've had a dialogue with the engineering department about the traffic studies, and they provided a list of the roads and the speeds over the past, I want to say 15 years. And I was able to map out the roads that had the higher speeds, and I returned that map to them. So that is part of the traffic calming plan.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to move forward on that.
And you gave that to Mr. Quinn?
Yes, I
Here
did.
in the last week, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll give him a chance to review it, come up with questions, we can discuss it, and that way that he can answer questions about it.
Okay.
And
And he has your contact information?
yes, he does.
Okay.
So some of the issues are old, and I had documentation in the past, and I hope to be able to pass that along to individual members of the board, just to follow up on those, probably by email in the next week or two.
Okay.
And those are my subjects.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter? Nothing tonight, Ed? All right, very good. All right. Seeing no further business to come before the board, the May 20th, 2015 Town Board meeting will stand adjourned at 7:52 p.m. Again, I'd like to thank Sam Murray from Troop 9 for leading us in the pledge tonight. Good luck, and we look forward to getting an invite to your Eagle Court of Honor coming up. And if you don't know, the gentleman here sitting in front of you, Mr. Lindskog, is Mr. Boy Scout here in Penfield for over 50 years. So with that, have a good evening. Thank you for those that participated. Thank you to Penfield TV.